Hey, dear friends, welcome back to the Clarity to CEO podcast. My name is Philippa Channer. I'm your host, and today is going to be a little different. We've been talking all about turning strategy into revenue, simplifying your offers, restructuring your pricing, aligning your business model with growth. All of the kind of tough conversations to have when it comes around with money. But today I'm going to take you behind the scenes and share something personal. And this is how I rebuilt my own offer suite. And that's not because I was failing or not because something was falling apart, but because I was growing. My business was growing, I was going, and I needed to make a change. All right, so before we dive in, quick reminder, if you need clarity around your own strategy and structure, you want to join me for the free Strategic Marketing Campus Workshop. This is where we map out your next 90 days in a way that actually supports your revenue goals. The link for that, of course, is in the show notes. And if this season of growth feels familiar to you, you'll find even more of this journey inside my book, When Clarity Leads. This is coming out sometime this summer. Pre-orders are going to be open soon, so please keep a look on my website. You'll have a form where you can stay informed, and I will be emailing you as soon as pre-orders are ready. You can learn more information about the book and some of the special offers that will be available when you purchase the book. All right? So let's talk about rebuilding. So the story here is when growth exposes what no longer fits. And that it's so true for many women. There was a season where my business looked healthy on the outside. I had a few clients. I was making some money. Momentum was happening, especially with what you see on LinkedIn. I was doing all the things, showing up at different opportunities and different events. But internally, I just felt stretched, not because I didn't love the work, but because my offers were built for an earlier version of me and the content that I had. And this is something that we don't talk about enough. Is sometimes your success is going to reveal some misalignment that's happening with you and your business. And it's completely natural and it's supposed to happen. It's part of that growth. Right, so it's one of the first things that I learned that needed to change was I had a little bit too many entry points. And so at one point I had different coaching tiers. I had multiple small offers, one-off strategy sessions. I had a custom proposal, group experiences, digital piece floating around. Like there was a lot going on. It all worked, but what just wasn't cohesive. And I realized something critical. When your offers are scattered like that, your authority feels scattered. And so when somebody's talking to you and about your services, they want one clear path into how to work with you. They don't want a bunch of different options. That's going to be confusing. And so I had built a menu, but what I needed really was just a ladder. So I simplified it. Clear entry, clear core transformation, clear premium pathway. That one shift increased clarity across my entire business. And so what that means is when I first meet somebody, there is this one entry point of what I'm sharing with you, what I offer. As you work with me, you'll realize all those things I mentioned earlier, the group experiences, the custom proposals, one-off strategies, they still existed, but they didn't exist in the first conversation. They were introduced as you and I grew together, and I realized you were ready for that next step. The next lesson that I learned was that I was underpricing my leadership. This one was a little harder to see and feel. I had upgraded my expertise. I actually earned my MBA. I had deepened my framework. I had matured into my CEO thinking finally, but my pricing hadn't fully caught up yet. Why? Because part of me still saw myself as quote unquote just being helpful. I wasn't being strategic. I didn't think of it that way. I was just really being helpful for everybody else. And that's subtle but powerful. I had to reevaluate the transformation that I was delivering. I had to reevaluate the structure that I had to build and also the level of thinking that my clients were accessing. And once I saw it clearly, my pricing adjusted naturally. It made more sense, not dramatically, but more strategically and naturally. All right, the third lesson that I learned was that my time is a strategic asset. My time, your time is so valuable. That is our most valuable asset in our business. This is one that really changed everything for me. I had to ask if this offer structure is protecting my energy or is it draining it? Some of my offers required some heavy customization, unlimited access, and too much reactive time from me. it wasn't really scalable. So I had to rebuild my systems around repeatable frameworks, set some clear boundaries, create some structured deliveries, and a CEO level positioning. This shift wasn't just operational, it was mostly psychological. I had to do a lot of work on myself to understand and see this, of again, going back to that quote unquote, being helpful for my clients in any way possible was draining me and making me less productive. And when I felt like, okay, I couldn't charge enough because I knew I wasn't showing up the way I should have been. So now being able to step back and see those different ways that I wasn't being scalable, I was able to then say, okay, great, I can adjust this and respect my time. Because again, my time is the best asset that I have. The shift was very psychological. I had to stop acting like an employee inside my own business. Again, my clients are very important to me, but the business structure and the processes in the business and making sure that the business itself is successful is also extremely important for peace of mind and a successful business in the long run. All right, the fourth lesson that I learned is that clarity creates revenue confidence. This is so important. And here's what happened after I rebuilt. Once I started with the rebuilding process and making those adjustments, I started to realize that my messaging started to get more tight and more clear. My confidence in me and my business and what I was offering and how I was helping people, that significantly increased. My sales conversions became easier and more clear for myself and for potential leads to jump right into what I was offering. And my revenue started to become more predictable. Not because I hustled more, but because everything started to become in alignment. That's the heart of When Clarity Leads, the book I'm coming out with this summer. It really stresses that you need that strategic structure to have that clarity. And that clarity is going to help generate some revenue confidence and predictability that really helps you feel more assured in your business. Clarity is not about the aesthetics. It's about structural alignment. So when your vision, your offers, your pricing, and your positioning all match up, your revenue feels less chaotic. You don't have to worry about, okay, where's the money coming from month to month. And the fifth lesson that I learned through all of this was that growth requires regular recalibration. Here's what I want you to hear. Rebuilding is not a failure. It doesn't mean that you were doing something wrong. Rebuilding is leadership. If you're in a season where your business feels heavier than it should, or that your offers feel a little bit more scattered than you like, your pricing seems to be outdated, or your revenue feels very inconsistent, you don't need to panic. You may just need to restructure, to take a look on where's your business right now, reflect on your offers, reflect on your processes, reflect on how much time you're spending, and see where you may need to rebuild. And that requires just CEO level honesty about yourself, honesty about your business, so that you can see those potential changes and make those improvements. So some of the reflection questions that you can ask yourself to help you through this journey is, which offers are draining you the most? Which offers drive the most revenue? Are there any offers that feel most aligned with your long-term vision for your business? And if you were designing your business from scratch today, what would you keep and what would you get rid of for the most easy experience and for both you and your customers? Your answers for all of these questions are your roadmap for moving forward and helping you get that clarity you need to start doing that restructuring that's going to really help streamline your business. All right, so if this episode stirs something in you, don't sit with it alone. I want you to join me in the next Strategic Marketing Canvas workshop. Again, it's free and it's designed to help you zoom out and realign your strategy before the next growth season hits. And if you want to see how this entire journey unfolded, the mindset shifts, the structural changes, and lessons learned, don't forget to check out my book, When Clarity Leads. Here, you can sign up to join the waitlist so you can be informed when the book is coming out. It's written for women entrepreneurs who are building beyond survival mode and more into strategic leadership. In the next series that I'm going to start, I'm going to be talking about the systems that really support creating a more consistent lifestyle within your business. This is content rhythms, automations, different routines that you can start to create within the processes that you have for your business to make your life just a little bit easier and more manageable week in, week out, every month, every quarter. So you don't want to miss that. In the meantime, ladies, I can't wait to keep building with you and helping your business grow. So keep leading with clarity and have a wonderful week.